anybody's under a lot of stress right now, Pegah, it's you, it's Fatima. But let's talk about the good stuff first. Okay. I asked Cortion the same question. I want to ask you, what makes the relationship between Fatima and Ellis so special?
These two kids found themselves in a time where their life couldn't be worse, and they somehow managed to find love in all of the chaos. And I think when you've been through tragedy and loss and chaos the way that this town offers it, something forms between you, and whether that's a home or hope, there's no taking that away from them. And I think that's a very strong thing they've got. No matter what this world throws at them, they've always got each other.
Oh, we've seen that through and through in this season, especially. So, but Fatima revealed recently in this last week's episode her struggle to have children prior to arriving to the town. So, how much of that is a factor, do you think, in her kind of not wanting to tell Ellis what's really going on?
It has a lot to do with why she doesn't want to tell him. For one, she could be giving to the devil itself. I mean, I don't think anybody would want to be telling anybody that. Um, but she also wants to make sure that before she verbalizes that fact that she is in fact pregnant and it becoming a reality for her, that it is in fact a reality. Because, when you find out that you can't have children, that's trauma that you try to cope with and you try to come to terms with. And when you find out that there is hope again, you're a little hesitant to take it just in case it gets taken away.
Not only that, but everything in this town happens for a reason. We've learned that for sure. We might not know the reason, but all always happens for a reason. So, how much is, I mean, getting to be a new mother is stressful enough. How much does that add to the stress to where she has no idea what to expect and why the town almost kind of chose her in a weird way?
Yeah, it definitely adds a lot more stress. She's a child herself. Like, she's an adult, but she's a child, especially when you don't have your actual parents around you or your guidance, your people that know how it's supposed to go. Pregnancy, like Christy says, is weird enough as it is. But not knowing what it is you're pregnant with, it obviously it adds a lot more stress.
Absolutely. Speaking of Christy, the support system around Fatima has been incredible recently. How important has it been for her to have Donna, to have Christy, even Julie, to help her through this? Because I mean, without them, I don't know where she'd be, honestly.
She definitely would be in worse places, and she's already in the worst place ever. So, they've been so incredibly good to her. Not even uh, Donna and Julie and Christy, but Boyd and all those other people. Just Donna's already a mother figure to the colony house, but she has a very special relationship with Fatima in a way that she feels like a very much her own daughter. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this whole pregnancy goes and what more they can offer, because there's a lot that you don't have answers to, and there's a lot of things you don't have access to. So if anything goes wrong, as much as you might want to help your loved ones, if your hands are tied, your hands are tied.
Very true, but Christy's done some crazy stuff, so I think she's in good hands for sure when it comes to that.
Christy can figure anything out.
Oh, for sure, no doubt. Now we have a wedding coming up too, Pete. So I mean, which I'm sure won't be easy to pull off in this crazy town. But your wedding day is supposed to be the happiest day of your life, right? And I'm sure it can be still. But is there a part of her that kind of doesn't necessarily want to look back on that day forever and remember, oh, that's right, we were stuck in this crazy place?
Yeah, not only that, but she has nobody to walk her down the aisle. Like, not only does she not have her dad in this town, she doesn't have her dad, period. And it's not like he passed peacefully. It's awful, her backstory. And her mom isn't there, and her friends aren't there, and there's all she has is Ellis and her Frumley parents, which, to me at least, I'd like to think that she thinks of Donna and Boyd as her own parents, and they've been nothing but her parental figures to her. But I can only imagine what it would be like, especially if it doesn't go well, or how well could it really go in a town like this?
Yeah, and as well as it can is the kind of sucky thing about that whole
Yeah.
thing. But after what happened with Ellis and all the tension, with the stabbing and everything like that, how safe do you feel like Fatima feels at Colony House? Now we see that they're back there now. How safe do you think she really feels there?
I don't think anybody feels safe in that house anymore. It's like, once the lock is broken, is it ever really fixed? Um, Especially since in this town nothing is out of the question. Um, but she has a sense of, I made this a home. You can't take this from me, no matter how hard you try. So even if she doesn't feel safe enough, I don't think she'll ever show it in the show. Just because she doesn't want to give the town that, she's gonna hold on to her home and her family as tight as she can. No one's taking that from Fatima.
Absolutely not. It helps that she's pretty tough too. So
It helps.
that certainly helps. Before I let you
Definitely.
go, Pega, we saw in this last episode, in a recent episode, Randall's got this crazy theory, right? That somebody on the town's in on it. They're in on the secret. This is all a huge ploy or something like that. How do you kind of feel about the theory? There's so many theories going on social media, but in the show, that one's a pretty interesting. What was your reaction to that when you learned about that?
Um, I thought if anybody's gonna think that, it's gonna be Randall. Figures. But I mean, he brings up some interesting points. I hope it's not true because everybody's lovely in this town, Dale withstanding. But uh, I just to think that the safety we thought we had is also in question with regards to the people that we learned to trust. I don't like that, especially since Donna vets everybody, and I'd like to think Boyd does the same. But before the night that they get in, and to think that they can fool like the two smartest, toughest people in the town, it just makes me really uneasy.
Well, we'll have to see if we throw another problem onto the pile every Sunday. That's when you can watch From on MGM Plus, and I can't wait to see what's going to be happening with Fatima. Pega, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.